In this lesson, we'll discuss using linked CAD files, specifically the floor plan 2D CAD drawings. In this master file, we can see these 2D CAD drawings, the floor plans and elevations, organized together that depicts a 3D model. For this lesson, we'll discuss and look at how to get the 2D floor plans into our Revit model. To start, if I look at my project browser in the lower left, I see I have two floor plans already created, level 1 and level 2. I'm going to associate two 2D CAD drawings, floor plans if you will, to each one of these levels. And if you had more levels or more CAD drawings for additional floors, you would want to create additional levels as well. And we'll also look at that in this example. For the first actual floor plan, we'll start at the lowest level, level 1. Now, to insert the 2D CAD drawing, let's go to the Insert tab, then click Link CAD. Browse to your data directory of files for this course and select the floor plan level 1 DWG file. So this would be the drawing file done in a 2D CAD tool by an architect or designer, and we want to bring it into our Revit model. Now, a few things to set on the very bottom before clicking open. Verify the colors are black and white, levels are all, import units, auto detect, uncheck mark the correct lines, make it auto origin to origin for positioning, and place it level 1 in orient to view. Orient to view meaning north is up. Then click open. What it will actually do now is bring in that 2D CAD drawing and place it on level 1. Now, our next step would actually be to create grid lines, overlapping the current grid lines you see from the 2D CAD tool. Now I'll go ahead and zoom in. Now I will start with recreating the grid lines for the numeric values first. So to do this, this is an architectural step. Go to the Architectural tab, then all the way to the right in the Datum panel, click Grid. Now by default, the numbering usually starts with 1. Now instead of drawing the lines by clicking points, what we'll do is select lines. And to do that, in the Draw panel to the right of your ribbon, click the Pick Lines icon. Now, all I have to do is pick the existing grid lines from my 2D CAD drawing. So I'll move over the line for grid 1. Go ahead and left click it. I see it places a new bubble with 1. Now I'm going to skip over 1, 1 and come back. So I'm just going to go to 2, click 2, and then click the line over 3, and then the line over 4, and keep going. And as you see, it counts up sequentially from number 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and so forth. And it keeps going. Now, the reason I skipped over 1, 1, which I'm done here at 10, and I'll go back to the 1, 1. Now I'll click 1, 1, and if I look at the number, it's actually 11, not 1-1. If you happen to mess up, simply just click right on the number that's incorrect, and then type the number that you want. For example, 1-1. Now, whenever you do this, the sequential counter will start with this number or letter. So for example, we have numbers. Now let's do the vertical letters. I'm just going to go up to A. Click on the line to the right of A. Now, sequentially, it counts 1-2 since the last thing I entered was 1-1. Well, I don't want that. So simply click on the number 1-2 and type the letter A and then hit enter. So that is updated. Now the counter will start with alphabetic characters. So now click B. And B is created. And then C, D, and keep going. E, F. I'll skip over F-1 or F.1 for the same reason. I'll go to G, H, I, and then J. And then let's go back up to F1. Click, and you see it produces K. So just click K, and then type in F.1, and then hit enter. And then go ahead and zoom back out. Now I'm done with my grid lines, so just click Modify. Now the reason we produce the grid lines now was for creating the actual elevations. So when we do the elevations in another lesson, we'll align those elevations to our grid lines, so I know they're placed on one side of the building or the other side of the building. Now the next step is to add another level. But before we do that, maybe you want to see this in 2D. So go to the 3D view all the way at the very top of your Revit window, default 3D view, and you'll see now you have that 2D plan view that's brought in. Now let's go to level 2 because we want to actually bring in the next 2D CAD file for level 2. So double click level 2 under floor plans in the project browser in the lower left. That will open up level 2, but you currently see level 1 because it's turned on as an underlay, which we want that because we have to align the levels if they're not currently aligned. So now let's bring in level 2, really the same way you did level 1. Go to Insert, then Link CAD, and now select Floor Plan Level 2. Verify the settings on the bottom, black and white, all layers, auto detect for import, uncheckmark the correct lines. This time leave the positioning just center to center, and verify it's at level 2 and orient to view. Click Open. Now, when I bring this in this time, since I use center to center, I see it's off, meaning it's not totally aligned to the level below it. And if you zoom in, you can see that my grid lines, the vertical ones, the numbers aren't aligned. The horizontal ones are, but the verticals are not. So we want to use the Align tool to align the imported image to the correct image. So to do that, let's go to the Modify tab on your ribbon. And in the middle under the Modify panel, click Align. So the first thing I want to pick is what is correct. So I'm going to pick the grid line 1, the singular line. That is correct. Then I'll move over the grid line 1 to the left, which is incorrect. That's the one from the actual second floor plan we just brought in, and click it. And what will happen now is it migrates and moves that entire imported floor plan to the right, aligning the levels on top of each other. Once we're done, click Modify, roll your mouse to zoom back out, and you now have these floor plans aligned. Go to the 3D view by clicking the house on the very top. You actually see now your levels are stacking the associated AutoCAD files that we just linked in. And you would continue to do this, adding the next floor and the floor after that. You would want to make sure that you have levels already created. As a review, what we looked at in this lesson was using linked CAD files, specifically floor plans, and how to link them into this master Revit project. We looked at using the Insert tool for inserting the CAD file, and then we created grids aligning with the grid that was in the linked-in AutoCAD 2D file. And then finally, we looked at creating additional levels and bringing in additional 2D floor plans into our Revit project.